Okay, guys, welcome back to another video. On this one, this one keeps coming up on the internet, and I've been noticing even some things like NFC, and I've been talking about this. I think it's the Peacock, Universal, platform. Yeah, the people who are in charge of that. I know there's been some controversial stuff with but it's not just them talking about this stuff. They've been talking, other people have been talking about it on Facebook and all that, and even like Instagram. It's like all over the place. But there is talk that Paramount apparently is going to be, like, they're trying to bid for Warner Brothers. Like, there's a possible buyout. And, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting indeed. Now, I don't know if this hasn't been, I don't know if this is actually going to happen or what, but at this point, it wouldn't really surprise me anymore. But I'm going to talk about that. Remember, guys, to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. Make sure you guys are still subscribed because YouTube's been having some problems. And you guys can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you guys have threads too, because otherwise it will not. Otherwise, I don't know if you guys will get notified for this stuff or not. Like on Instagram, because I wasn't getting notified for posts and all that. I really miss those days of social media when you could it was a lot simpler back then. Now it's so freaking complicated. Yeah. Make sure you guys have threads too, I guess, because you guys gotta have two. I guess I don't know if you guys have to, but I have to have threads in order to have Instagram. And threads can be kind of political at times, like very political, but I don't know. So actually, if you have another post I will be talking about, or another video I might make later about McDonald's, I haven't decided yet, but I might make one later. But yeah. But let's go ahead and actually get into this. So like I said, Paramount is talking about wanting to possibly maybe buy Warner Brothers, or they're gonna bid for it. Now, I think I've talked about this before. I don't remember if it was, I think it was Warner Brothers possibly wanting to buy Paramount, because Paramount was struggling there too, and now they got this merger with Skydance, which we still don't even know, what's going to happen with that, we don't know, because that just happened, Honestly, in a way, it kind of reminds me of, with Disney, buying Pixar. Remember when well, I guess to be fair, they didn't really have a merger, but they had, a CEO, Bob Iger, immediately when he came into the company and became the CEO, he went and, bought out Pixar. Remember that? That's kind of what the CEO of Paramount is doing now, the new CEO. I hope, to dear God, though, he doesn't go full Bob Iger and buy shit left and right. It's okay to buy, some IP, but you don't need to buy every single thing, And that's the problem with Bob Iger. He just kept buying and buying, and now they're sitting on so much IP, they don't know what to do with it, And the thing is with Paramount buying Warner Brothers versus the other way around. Paramount just had a merger, and Warner Brothers, well, let's face it, Warner Brothers is I would say it's like what the hell is going on with the platform, you know, like I think the CEO is very like David Lasley is very confusing, you know. It's like I don't think he even knows what the hell he's doing. I mean, well, he clearly doesn't, but like I mean with like say what you want about bad CEOs, like I mentioned, like Disney and Bob Iger and all that, and just those are just examples. There's also other companies have had bad CEOs, which is why brands have gone downhill. Like even previously, Cracker Barrel, has had a bad CEO, but at least you kind of know what they're doing. Warner Brothers, you don't even know what the hell is going on. Like, you got him like canceling, stuff left and right, not really explaining why, and then he's removing content from from HBO Max, but somehow, for some reason, he still rebranded it back to Max. So, like, is Max gonna be, or is it gonna be HBO Max, or is it gonna still be Max? I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. Like, it's very confusing. But Paramount is talking about, again, buying it. And I'm just like, again, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. Lots of people don't. Because, well, like I said, Paramount, just got, a new CEO now. We don't really know much about what the company's gonna be held. And I don't know if I want Paramount to buy something that big. I mean, it could be like Fox, Disney buying out 20th Century Fox, which I'm not gonna lie, even though it sucks, like, I will admit, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse when they bought out Fox. Like, I was thinking they were gonna, kind of do what they did with their other franchises, like Star Wars and all that. They were gonna, like, Star Wars and some of their later movies were starting. I think I've heard Marvel was starting to get more like politically and all that, and trying to race swap stuff and all that. But it seems like Fox, they're just sitting on a lot of IP. Now they do this whole thing where voice actors are not, they're only allowed to voice certain characters like that match their skin color. But yeah, they're only allowed to do that. They're not allowed to have different voice actors anymore, which is very stupid because, Disney is the same company that also, race swapped, characters in live action. And it could be like, well, it's a live action remake, but it's supposed to be a remake, like basically they're remaking the entire movie in live action, I mean, changing some scenes here and there is one thing, but casting actors that don't even look like the characters, that's a whole nother thing, and it's just like, again, it's like, I'm like, you can't just do that. It makes no sense. But that's the thing, though. It's like, I don't know, the whole thing is just kind of stupid with that. But, like, with Fox, yeah, Disney, with, like, they're not really doing that as much. They're more like, they're making a bunch of sequels to Fox. Because I knew, we knew, like, a lot of us knew when Disney bought out Fox. We knew that they were going to probably milk this shit even more than it already was. Because, Fox kind of ended up like that, Fox kind of ended up like, like getting, like they kind of split the company up, and then Disney acquired like the film, and TV rights and stuff all, while they kept the like, their news and all that, and then their sports, So I don't know what will happen, like I said, with Paramount and Warner Brothers if this were to happen. But again, I don't know if I want it to happen either. But I'm like, I don't know, the state of Warner Brothers. I don't know, something needs to happen, But that's the problem, though. I'm like, I kind of would rather it get sold off to somebody else, but keep the company kind of alive. But again, like it's like, I mean, even if Paramount could keep it alive, that would be nice. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's kind of interesting that also, like I said, they just had this merger and they want to buy more stuff. I'm like, I feel like buying something this big, I would probably wait, or like, I mean, you can't really wait when other people might be interested in buying that stuff too. But I'm just like, I don't know. But I will say this too. I've heard some people, some people are concerned about this merger happening because of the last big mergers that have happened. Like I mentioned, Fox, getting bought by Disney. That was kind of a disaster. I mean, there were films that got canceled, and then Disney kind of ran the brand into the ground further, and all that, because I've said that, like I just said, they kind of, are, again, they don't know what they're doing with the franchise they own. They shut Blue Sky Studios down and all that, and it became a disaster. And even now, I don't feel like they have a lot. They know what they're doing with this stuff. I mean, they're making like some IP, but for the most part, I don't think they know what they're doing with Fox. And that's kind of how, what happened with Discovery. Discovery merged with Warner Brothers. That's how they got David Lasley. And remember, Warner Brothers was already not in great shape before that. And when David Lasley became the CEO, people were hoping that maybe he would save the company. I was one of those people. I was hoping maybe he would save it. Maybe he could fix Cartoon Network a bit. But no, he ran the shit down even further into the ground. So I'm like, what would happen if, they would merge together, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what would happen, as the thing. That could be kind of a, kind of crazy. But, I don't know. I don't know what will happen. But Paramount and Warner Brothers are both, like I said, both big companies. But also, people have also said, too, that, I was going to bring this up. People have said that Paramount, and that would make Paramount kind of a monopoly and all that. And I want to clarify that Warner Brothers is not, they're not as big as Fox was. Fox was a lot bigger. And, Paramount actually doesn't own a ton of IP either. Their biggest thing is probably Nickelodeon and all that. But people are talking about how Paramount, basically Paramount would be a monopoly if they bought out Warner Brothers, and Paramount doesn't really that's the thing, they don't really own a bunch of stuff. I mean, they own a bunch of Nickelodeon shows and all that. And then they have CBS and all. No, well, not CBS. Sorry, that's a different thing. No, they have wait, do they have CBS? I can't remember. They have Comedy Central. I know that they own Comedy Central. They own MTV too. They own that, which is two adult channels, but they don't own a ton of stuff. In their movies as well. But they don't own a ton of channels. And if they were to go to Warner Brothers, I mean, yeah, they would get Hanna-Barbera and Cartoon Network and all that, but that are massive brands. But I mean, to be fair, there would still be other competition, there would be there would be competition there would be because we still have Disney. We would still have Disney Junior. We would have, we got Disney Junior. We have PBS Kids. We would have Disney Channel, which people are saying that's just I heard somebody quote it was just live action shows, but I'm like, it's not just live action shows. If you guys actually watch Disney Channel, there's Yeah, like Phineas and Ferb, Kim Possible. You know, I've actually reviewed those shows. You got, yeah, I mean, it sounds like I'm like advertising myself there. I know, no, there's, I have watched a little bit of those shows, and I watched some other ones too. Um, I think I've watched a little bit of Lilo and Stitch, the show. The thing is that there's that, and then there's Sprout. I know Sprout's kind of also kind of dead, and they're saying PBS Kids was shut down by Trump. I don't know. I thought PBS Kids was still going around and all that. I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm pretty sure it's still going around. I mean, it's still on. I mean, he said he was gonna cut the funny. He didn't say he was going to like shut that down. To be fair though, the president probably doesn't need to be getting involved with that. But from what I could hear, is PBS Kids has been was getting funding from the government, and well, because you know they've been kind of misleading the money and all that, and you know, with there being streaming, it's like people that are getting paid for stuff that's not being, you know, happening. But yeah, still, I mean, I don't know. I still don't think getting involved with that stuff would be the greatest thing, but I don't know. But I don't think PBS Kids is shut down. But that's the thing, though. Like I feel like I said, I feel like there's still competition out there, and like I said, it's not like as big, you know, but it's a pretty big merger. It's a pretty big merger. But like I said, it wouldn't be as big as, let's say, Disney buying Fox, because Disney was already big before they bought Fox. They were, and I think buying Fox made them almost as big as Universal. I think is Universal. I think some people are saying Universal is bigger. Some are saying that Disney is bigger, but yeah, buying Fox made Disney really big. But Disney was already big. I mean, I told you guys, Bob Iger was going on a money sprint. He bought out. He went out and bought, you know, Pixar. He bought out Marvel. You know, he bought out Maker Studios. He bought out, you know, which is a stupid idea, because I knew he was trying to be YouTube, but that failed. And then he bought out, you know, like Lucasfilm, and then, you know, he kept spending money and all. He even, you know, like I said, he bought out, you know, 20th Century Fox, and then recently he just bought out the rights to use well, he doesn't really own it, but he bought the rights to use, you know, WWE on Disney Plus, which, by the way, is going to cost $30, you know, but a month for like a deal with ESPN and Hulu and all that. But they also bought out Hulu, so they bought a lot of shit, and they just keep growing more and more. Like, I mean, if they're just gonna buy one thing, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. But I'm just afraid, like how much IP a game will be like owned, you know, and all. And like I said, we don't really know what's gonna. We don't know how Paramount's gonna go with, you know, otherwise, you know. But that's the thing. They're also talking about bidding on it. So like, is other people going to like are they like doing an auction, and is Paramount going to bid on it? So does that mean like maybe like Netflix or something could come in and buy it? I don't know. I don't know if Netflix wants to buy it though. I've heard their IP has not been the greatest either. Like they've had some good stuff. Like I've seen some of their content, but they're not like a massive IP, you know. But I don't know. I mean, it's possible Sony, because Sony was talking about buying Paramount, so it's possible, you know, Sony could come in and buy out Warner Brothers, which I don't know how big well, that's the thing though. Sony also has their entire gaming company too. They have an entire gaming company too, so that actually might even be a bigger thing than, you know, Paramount bought, because I don't think Paramount really has. I mean, they have their game stuff, but they don't have a lot of like other stuff, you know. But yeah, like I said, I don't think it's considered a monopoly, you know? Now, I think I've said before about Disney buying Fox, I thought that was kind of a monopoly, but, you know, looking back on it, it definitely is not really much of a monopoly. It was still, I mean, I'm not going to take back what I said about it being stupid for Iger to spend $71 billion on Fox, but you know, but it's not like like, I mean, it's not like it's a monopoly, because, I mean, they really didn't own any adult stuff before that, and again, we have Comedy Central and all that, too, so, like, them owning, like, Family Guy and all that, you know, doesn't really change a lot, and neither will this. I don't feel like, now, I've said Google is kind of a monopoly. I talked about that in the comments. People are making comments and quotes on it. I'm like, Google is a monopoly. A monopoly is definitely when a company is trying to again, like, they either are too big, or they're trying to like they're basically they're too big, and they're not really creating a lot of competition. And Google's been trying to eliminate the competition. I think they've actually have gotten in trouble with the government because of that. Like, they've actually gotten in trouble because of the government. You know, like, I've been noticing that. Like, they've gotten in some deep trouble with that. And I think there is talk that they're going to be selling some stuff off, but I don't know what they're going to sell yet, but they're going to be broken up. But like I said, the difference between Google and then, you know, Paramount and Warner Brothers, and even Disney, for that matter, is they're not less big. Now, I will say Disney definitely has power over people, possibly too much power, because, I mean, they're always somehow able to, like, you know, control. They were actually, not, I don't know if as much anymore, but they were, like, somehow always winning court systems and all that, and people were getting screwed over, and now it's like suddenly they're losing it. I think they're just getting to the point where I think they are running out of money, you know, and that's the problem with Hollywood. Hollywood in general is running out of money, you know. I mean, yeah, they're doing these mergers to help out with some stuff because they're trying to cut costs. But that's the thing, they're going to try to cut costs and merge together. Because I can see Disney getting sold off, possibly, too. I could be, like, thinking, because Iger, like I told you, Iger's a coward. Iger will run away. And I think Iger, probably, I could see Iger just selling the company off, or his predecessor doing that. You know, I can see that happening. And I know I'm talking about Disney a lot in this video, but Disney, like I said, has done kind of what Paramount's wanting to do here with Fox. But, like, you know, but they're also running into some financial troubles. And this could actually make me think, like, what will happen if, with Paramount, if they do buy it, like, would they go into financial troubles again, you know? I don't know. But yeah, but I am thinking other studios, like, do you think Disney could get sold off too? I think that could happen. I mean, I'm not saying I want Disney to get sold off, because I don't really want any of these, because these are some big mergers, but, I mean, the thing is, though, if somebody were to come in and buy Disney's so big at this point, like I said, they're pretty big, they probably would have to sell some IP, depending on who they get sold to. Like if they got sold to maybe, like, a company, like, you know, Apple or something, you know, because there's talks that Apple might want to acquire them, then maybe it wouldn't be as, because, I mean, I don't think Apple's got a lot of, I don't know if they got a lot of, you know, content on there, but if this were to happen the other way, or if they were, like to get sold off to, like, if Universal wanted to acquire them, or Netflix or something, they probably would have to, like, sell some IP. I mean, they would already have to do that anyway. I mean, Disney's would have to, like, I mean, they wouldn't be able to probably sell their parks. I mean, they could, but I don't, then they probably would keep the parks and then the news assets. It could be like Fox, you know, where they just split the company up and just sell the TV rights off to other stuff, you know. I mean, I'm surprised that you know, honestly, Iger isn't doing it. Because Iger, it feels like Iger, all he cares about is streaming and like, Iger only cares about streaming and you know, freaking sports. So, like, why the hell does he really, why does he really need, why the hell does he, you know, need to, like, why does he even want the other stuff, you know? Like, I'm just saying, if he wants money so bad, he can just sell it off. I don't know, it just seems kind of weird. It seems kind of weird, but, I don't know, but, yeah, I think we're definitely seeing some mergers. That kind of goes into my video I made on the streaming wars, and how I think they're starting to end. But yeah, I think they're starting to kind of end, and soon we're gonna get to the point where I think we're definitely gonna see some massive changes. Rather if they're for the best or the worst. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. But I don't really know what's gonna happen, and I don't know if Paramount actually will buy Warner Brothers. But if they do buy it, I don't know how to feel about it. But yeah, I don't think it's like, I mean, Warner Brothers does own a lot of movie franchises, and they do own Hanna-Barbera, but like, they don't own like a ton of IP either. But this would make Paramount kind of almost as big as like, Paramount will be almost as big as you know, like, probably almost as big as Disney and Universal if that were to happen. Because Warner Brothers owns like over like 7,000 movies. Last time I checked, it's like 7,000 something movies. That's a lot. So I said, Paramount were to buy it, they would own a lot more. But I don't know. I guess we'll just see what happens here. But for right now, though, I'm gonna go ahead and let things go from here. I'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye.